Luis Bedoya here. I'm going to be posting this video and talking to you about 2024. This is a very important message because I'm talking about our pricing strategies for the next year, what happened with 2023 and how it's changed our strategy for short-term and mid-term rentals. Please don't click off this video. I have information for you that affects the real estate market and the real estate industry, the short-term rental space. As I mentioned prior in some of the videos, we had a hard hit in the economy, especially in the market, real estate market. Interest rates went up, as everyone knows that, and less buyers mean less transactions, less money flowing down the drain for everybody else. So not just the real estate agent, not just the mortgage lender, but also insurance companies, anybody who does any landscaping, anybody who installs roofs, flooring companies, plumbing companies, all AC companies, all this, probably at least 40-50 industries, if not more, that were affected because of the change in our real estate market. What that does is people tighten up, and people did, all the tightening up for those few months of loss of income. People stop traveling. It's opening up again now soon, folks. People are starting to come back to Florida. There's been a lot more travelers that are showing up, and even my clients have been visiting more often now in December, the month of December. This is December 31st, by the way, and as you can see, we're doing 75 degrees. It's an incredible weather. I am walking with my dog here next to the Howlett Park. If you can take a look here, there's the Bel Air area, Bel Air Bluff, and Clearwater Beach in the background. Incredible homes, by the way, folks. Look at this. But hey, listen, we had a hard time during those months, and because of that, we dropped our prices so hard. There were homes with single family homes, 4-3 bedrooms, private pools, renting for $120 a night. Ridiculous. Now keep in mind that some of these Airbnbs are not professionally managed, and those were the ones that also dropped prices really hard. At the same time, you have investors that they got their homes at 7, 8, 9, 10% interest rates, and they really have a high mortgage payment to cover. So that desperation created a change in our market, and during the month of September, we literally dropped our prices so hard. That's the same situation for November, for October, but now they're starting to come back up, and that's basically the main message of this video. We are about to see the prices on Airbnb get much better, especially within the after the first or second week of January. I'm actually foreseeing February to be an incredible month, as well as March. That's our higher season. So some of my clients might say, hey, look, Louis, I already got those months booked. My Airbnb is doing great. That might be the case, but it could also mean that you booked your Airbnb for very low rates. So if that's you, if you have some reservations, you might want to check on those and see if you wanna stop and wait for those last minute reservations. Those are very high payouts, folks, and that's basically how we've done our business. I've had reservations for 30 days. People pay up to $16,000 to stay at a 3-bedroom home with a private pool, and that was in the year of 2022 and 2023 as well. All right, so now that we're gonna have more visitors, we should see our price going up in our pricing strategy, but it also exposed the kink in our armor, kink in our business, and that is the other months. What happens during the slow season? If we have a slow season, if we already know that November, we already know that October and maybe September are gonna be really tough months, our new strategy is we're gonna have those houses posted, listed on both the MLS market, the Zillow market, so people can go ahead and book. Had to make a break there. So we found a kink in our armor, and that basically is that we have very slow months and we haven't really prepared or done anything differently. In the first years, in the beginning years, we really just didn't, it wasn't that bad. So we were able to just, go with it and have $6,000 come in those slower months. That was when the economy was going a little bit better. But with this economy of 2023, we ended up dropping our prices, as I mentioned, down to probably about $120, $150 on average. That wasn't good, and it exposed the kink in our armor. So now we're posting our properties on Zillow, we're posting our properties on the MLS, and making sure that people can book our properties as a long-term rental, as a mid-term rental property, 1, 2 to 3 months. And that has been our new, it's gonna be our new strategy for 2024. But the main point of this video is, please remember, You don't want to offer your house in such a cheap rate that you're gonna have bookings for March, booking for February way in advance. You want to wait until those last minutes. I strongly recommend that you either work with a pricing algorithm or a manager so they can give you a good idea of how much you should be charging. And by the way, look at this beautiful view. I got some people coming up, so I might have to break the video for a little bit and come back to you guys in just a second. Just continuing where we left off. Now back, we're going to be changing our strategy, and for those very slow months we've decided to actually promote our properties as mid-term rentals so that we can have people stay for 1, 2, 3 months at a time during those very slow months, including months like those months are basically, again, to recap, August, November, September, October, maybe not in order, but those are very slower months, and our higher months are high season is from January through March, and then we also have a good April, May, June, and July. I don't get those in order, but those are the months. And when it comes to a real estate market, since the mortgage rates are gonna be dropping, it's gonna create a rise in our property price. So we're actually foreseeing our properties to go high again, to go up in value. Appreciation will be good for the year of 2024, and the people who are buying right now at this very moment are the ones that are gonna be talked in the news for investing in the market right before another spike. It might not be as high as it was during the COVID moments, during COVID time, but it's definitely, COVID started a mass migration of people that decided, look, if I'm gonna have to stay at my house, I want to be in a place where I can enjoy a little bit more of the outdoors. So folks, and also it exposed the regulations and how some states were ran, how some states were operating, and some people decided, you know what, this is not how I want to live my life. I don't want to be told to do this or told to do that, or come here or don't. So they started flocking to areas such as Texas and Florida, where it seems to be a little bit more of, we trust you, make your own decision type deal, if you get what I mean. But anyways, we are going to see an increase in our real estate market as far as the property pricing, and we're going to see an increase in our pricing for Airbnbs. Hold on tight. A lot of investors that got in the game last year, they were not ready for what was going to happen in this very slow quarter 3 and quarter 4. People thought, hey, look, I'm just gonna slap the house on the market and it's gonna do really well. And sometimes it does work out that way, especially if you have an incredible location. But you do have to make your Airbnb not only just competitive, but unique. You want your Airbnb to be unique, to have some type of attractive that will beat the competitors. Because right now, I mean, it's not a saturated market as Orlando, which Kissimmee alone is 30,000 Airbnbs. We have about 1,500 in Bel Air Beach, Indian Rocks, and we have we have about 5,000 Airbnbs in Indian Rocks Beach, and about 1,500 in between Largo and Seminole. Okay, that being said, it's not a saturated market like Kissimmee where there's 30,000 of them. So if you're investing in Orlando, you have to pay a little bit more for your property, and then you have to pay also a little bit more to furnish the house and get it up to the standards of your competitors. Nowadays, if you have a pool, people want the pool to come with a pool heater, right? So if the pool is not heated, you probably won't take as much reservations as your neighbor that has the heated pool. These little changes in our industry have drive the competition, and a lot of folks don't realize that this is a business about competition. It's not a long-term rental market where people just make the decision once a year, if not once every 10 years, every 5 years, to, hey, I'm gonna rent this house, and then they stay there and they become comfortable. A lot of people don't move out because they just don't want to go through the process of moving out. But when it comes to an Airbnb, you have people staying there, for 2 nights at a time, 3 nights at a time. They're looking for something different. They're looking for amenities. They're looking for special things to do. Not just the location. The location is very important, but doesn't mean that because you're right next to the beach, people are not gonna want to see a heated pool, like I just said. That they're not gonna want to have nice towels. That I was literally checking out Airbnbs yesterday on the market, showing them to clients, and one of those units had no blackout windows. So you basically either get woken up in the morning because there's no blackout windows, or Whatever light is outside in the street is shining into your bedroom as you're sleeping. These are things that, you know, you will think that people already figured out how to address, how to approach. And because of this unmanaged, unprofessionally managed Airbnbs, we've seen more complaints coming from our neighbors, that, you know, people are accepting reservations, not realizing that they're actually parties. Some folks that are not professionally managing their Airbnb don't know how to curate their clients. Just to give you an example, our manager will actually ask people to send a photo of them, their faces holding their own license and ID. So that's a very important fact. And we also have them sign off on not a contract, but they sign the regulations of the property. So it's kind of like a more of an oath, and it ensures that they get to read that document. So if there's any issues, call the cops right away and we get them evicted. That's one of the things that we like with Airbnb. And as an owner, because I have my own Airbnb, if I ever hear anything from a neighbor, I most of the time my first reaction is to just call the cops and get the clients evicted, because we are extremely clear with our rules, and we're not going to allow our neighbors have to have a really tough time because we decided to have an Airbnb in their house, in their community. Okay, so it's all about balancing, right? It's all about balance. I've had neighbors that they say, look, it doesn't bother me, I have no issues, everybody's been great, you guys actually take care of the community, you guys help out, you guys bring more visitors, it's actually been fun. We've actually had positive comments on our Airbnbs from our neighbors. But those unprofessionally managed Airbnbs were the ones that dropped their prices down to so low that it just dragged down our pricing. Now we're right at those stages where those prices are being driven back up. I've seen properties that are offering a whole month of February for $4,000, which it's not necessarily what we're used to, especially for January. So hold on tight. A lot of these investors sold their property, they had to get out of the game, or, you know, some of investors they just had to do it. Which means less Airbnbs around to compete with, and more business for you. If you still have one, just make sure that you don't pre-book your home in advance too high for too low, because that will probably leave some money on the table. Make sure that you have either an algorithm or a manager helping you price your property. Make sure that you have the required elements to monitor that people are doing the right thing, that are actually behaving and complying to your regulations, to your rules. Also, for the real estate investors themselves and people that are buying, this is an incredible time to buy. And anybody who's sitting there saying, look, I'll just wait until July, and because the drops are going to be, look, if you wait until July, that $500,000 home will cost you $550,000. So the best thing to do is go ahead and talk to my mortgage lender, Austin Schumann, get him to qualify you on a loan. And as soon as you get that property with that loan, we will make sure that we put you on that list of people that need to refinance within a matter of 6 months, I believe is the shortest. We'll call you and get you refinanced down to the actual rate. And again, right now the rates have already dropped. They've dropped in December. They dropped about a couple of weeks ago, which they haven't since I think it was August. So first one of the drops was in August, next drop was in December, and now we're foreseeing another drop in the month of March, which should be the one that really just takes off on Florida. We foresee seeing the Florida prices being talked in the news again. We foresee our Airbnb investors happy and calling again to inquire, to set up more properties. For those who have had a successful year or maybe not so successful, you know, reach out to me if there's anything I can ever do. If we can always talk, we can always chat up and see if there's anything we can brainstorm. If you work with me, you know that I will spend an hour, 2-3 hours with you on the phone and figuring out, helping you figure out ideas. I'll give you ideas on how to get these properties to be even better than what they are already. And again, we have 17 Airbnbs in our portfolio, so there's a lot of things that we learn from all of these units. Some of them are not professionally managed and they're still doing very good. So we're constantly learning. I hope you have a good New Year's. I hope you like this video. I hope you like this beautiful view. And I'll probably just do a last take of this beautiful background. This is the Hollet Park in Bel Air Bluffs. Like, subscribe. Happy New Year. Last video of the year here. All right. Hope you liked it. Bye-bye.